All right, today we're going to crack open one of the most powerful and maybe one of the most famous tools in all of cybersecurity, the Metasploit framework. Now, I know it has this kind of scary, formidable reputation, but our goal here is to completely demystify it. We're going to break down what it is, how it's used for good, and why it's just so essential for security pros. Okay, let's jump right in. You know, this quote from Abraham Lincoln is the absolute perfect way to start, because that's how security pros think about Metasploit. It's not some digital sledgehammer for brute force attacks. No, it's all about preparation, precision, and deep understanding. It's the 6 hours sharpening the axe, so you can find a system's weakest points and then strengthen its defenses before someone with bad intentions finds them first. So, what is this digital axe anyway? In this first part, we're going to get a really clear picture of what the Metasploit framework actually is, and maybe just as important, what it isn't. Okay, at its core, the Metasploit framework is exactly what that first word says it is, a framework. It's an infrastructure. So think of it less like a toolbox full of pre-made weapons and more like an entire workshop. It gives security researchers a clean, organized space to build, test, and launch the tools they need to see just how secure a system really is. And this is what's so cool about it, the sheer scope of what it's used for. It's this incredibly versatile tool for the good guys, the cybersecurity pros on the defensive side. They use it to dig into new vulnerabilities, to build their own proof-of-concept exploits, and to run authorized penetration tests, we call them pen tests, to check out a company's security and find those weak spots before the real attackers do. Of course, you can't just download these tools and start pointing them at any website or server out there. I mean, that's not just reckless, it's super illegal. So the very first thing any ethical hacker does is build a safe, totally isolated environment to practice in, a digital lab. And this slide just perfectly shows what that lab looks like. Over on the left, you've got something called Metasploitable. It's a virtual machine that was intentionally built with security holes all over it. It's the perfect sparring partner. And on the right, you see a classic Windows XP machine, another great practice target. This whole setup is the proving ground. It's a sandbox where you can hone your skills and test defenses without any risk to the real world. Okay, so we've got our lab ready to go. Now we can walk through the actual process of a penetration test. Let's think of it like a hunt, where each step logically builds on the one before it to reveal how secure our target really is. Pretty much every professional pen test is going to follow a playbook that looks like this. You always start with reconnaissance, that's information gathering. Then you move on to scanning, where you're actively probing for weaknesses, looking for those open doors. After that, you get to exploitation, where you actually try to get in. And finally, post-exploitation, which is all about figuring out what an attacker could do once they're inside. So let's zoom in on phase 1, information gathering. This stage is all about listening and watching. You're not attacking anything yet. You're basically acting like a detective, just building a map of the digital territory. You're trying to see what services are running, which doors or ports are open, and what secrets the system is just giving away for free. This initial intel is absolutely everything. Now, to really understand what comes next, we have got to get 2 key terms straight. You'll hear people throw around exploit and payload almost like they're the same thing, but they are totally different, and they're both absolutely essential parts of this toolkit. I love this analogy because it makes it so simple to understand. Just think of the exploit as the key. It's a very specific piece of code designed to fit one very specific lock, and that lock is a software bug or a vulnerability. Its only job is to get the door open. The payload, on the other hand, is what you do once you're inside. It's the action you want to take, the message you want to deliver. So just to be super clear, the exploit is the vehicle that gets you in the door, but the payload is what you actually came to do. The exploit uses that vulnerability to get access, and once that happens, the payload gets delivered to do something useful, like giving the security tester a remote command prompt on the target machine. Now, while Metasploit itself is incredibly powerful, it's important to remember that it doesn't exist in a bubble. It's really the engine at the heart of a much bigger ecosystem of tools that build on its power and make it accessible in all sorts of different ways. For the longest time, Metasploit was pretty much a command line only tool, which, don't get me wrong, is super fast and efficient if you're an expert. But over the years, the community has built these amazing tools on top of it, creating graphical interfaces that really help you visualize an attack and automate some really complex tasks. And here are just a couple of examples. You've got Armitage, which gives you this awesome visual map of your target network, making it way easier to manage big pen tests. Fast Track helps automate a lot of the common attacks. And then there's the Social Engineer Toolkit, or SET, which is, Well, it's just fascinating because it focuses entirely on the human element of security.
Yeah, using a tool like SET, a security pro can simulate some really sophisticated attacks to see how well an organization holds up. We're talking about creating fake websites to steal passwords or launching incredibly targeted spear phishing campaigns. It really shows you how the best technical exploits are often paired with social engineering to be truly effective.
And that brings us to our final thought for the day. A tool like Metasploit really forces us to face just how fragile our digital world can be. By understanding exactly how things can be broken, we learn how to build them stronger in the first place. So the real question isn't just about patching the latest hole, it's about fundamentally rethinking how we design security into everything we build, right from the very beginning.